Alright, so let me create one more new class to write a code for writing back to the text file. I would say that write, yeah, let's have the write.py. So in last lecture we have clearly seen that if you want to open any file initially, this is the step we are giving, right? So there is another way of doing it. So right now whenever you open the file, you actually read some data from file and finally you are closing it. So instead of opening and closing in two separate lines, there is one way in Python where you can open using keyword called with. Okay, with open test.txt, that is our text file, right, as reader. So basically this is nothing but object. So here file is an object where we are storing our opened file object, right? So you can actually say this as a file, right? So now if you write in this way, you need not write file.close step. Automatically this particular line opens your file, and once the whole execution is completed, it will just close that specific file which got opened. So you need not manually write one more step to close your file. Okay, so this is like optimized way than going with this. So mostly people prefer this line of code if they want to do some optimization, but it's up to you, whatever you choose. So I'm telling you this example because I want to show another way of doing it, and to write text back to the file, let's use this way. Okay, so however we have seen example using these two steps in our previous lecture for reading the data from file, right? So to write back to the file, let's try to handle this way. So I'll remove the steps so that you will have exposure on all different ways of doing it. Okay, so one thing you should know here, when you open the file, you can actually tell to Python in what mode you are opening the file. Is it in read mode or write mode? If you want to open the file in just a read mode, then you need to give a flag called R. This indicates that file is being opened in read mode. Okay, and if you want to open the file in write mode, then you can actually put W, so that we would say that as a write mode. So to bring consistency, first of all, my goal here, I would just describe what I am trying to do here. Read the file and store all the lines in list. This is our step number 1. And then reverse the list. Complete lines will be reversed. We should reverse that list and then write the list back to the file. So basically, when you first read the file, that means, let me close all others. Yeah, this is the order you read, right? And next we have to reverse this and then write back to this text file, so that output after that writing should be like elephant, dog, cat, BVD, SF and ABC. So that's what we want to do. That's our goal. So let's see how to do that. It's very simple. So first of all, we have to get the content, right? And then we need to reverse it. So let's open the file in read mode. For consistency, I would call the object as a reader. So when we are writing, we will create another object called writer. Okay. Right. So hit an enter and make sure code indentation matters here. So basically you have to write it from here. So when you put colon, that exactly starts from this line. So the reader dot read lines. Okay, so you know this method, right? If you see our previous file, and when I say reader dot read lines, all these lines will get stored in the list, isn't it? So I will carefully copy whatever list I retrieved into one variable, and let me call this as a content. And now this variable holds the list of all the items present in this file. So basically in each index one line will be there. Okay, nice. Now our next goal is to reverse the list. Okay, that's very easy. You can simply call a method called reversed. So in Python you have a reversed method where if you pass this content list inside it, automatically this method now will reverse all the items present in your list. Okay, so once it is reversed, now our goal here is to write back to our test.txt file. Okay, so with this initial step, this is how the storage will be there. I would quickly write it for more clarity. Yeah, this is the initial list we captured, and when we reversed, yeah, so this is the reversed list. So two goals are completed, and now we have to write back, right? Okay, so let's open that file again, this time in write mode. Okay, with open the file test.txt in write mode, and the object what we are going to give for that opened file is writer. You can give any name for it. For consistency and for clear understanding, I am giving like that. But make sure code indentation matters. And again, when you hit an enter, you should start writing from here now. Okay. So reader dot read lines. Basically, using this object, you are operating on that file, right? Similarly, now writer is our object. On this, when you say dot, you will again get all the methods. But this time, you want to write. You are no more reading it. So there is a method in Python which will help to write into file. So what you want to write? You want to write this content. Okay, but we thought that we need to reverse it, right? So basically we need to write reverse content. But now how to write that list into the file? Okay, so if you carefully remember, in the last lecture we know how to retrieve each and every line from the list and print it. Similarly, now also we have list content. So to retrieve each and every line of the content, we wrote simple for loop, and this for loop will extract each and every index. Okay, so we will do same thing but reverse. Let me show you. For line in, this is our list. Okay, so code indentation writer dot write line. So this will basically again take each and every line. Here ABC will again write it back to the file. But this time we thought to write in reverse manner. So first reverse the list. Right. So now what happens? So now you are extracting from the list which is reversed. So that means this is the list will be here. Now when you want to extract in a for loop, for the first iteration, elephant will be extracted. And now we are writing elephant into that file. Thereafter dog will be extracted. So one by one in reverse is now extracted, and we are writing back to our test.txt file. So this is how currently your file is present with the content. So let me run this test. Run write.py, and now you see here it got reversed. So that's the beauty. So I hope you understand, and there will be little confusion for the first time when you understand all these concepts, but try to watch the video again or just try to practice yourself. So one thing you need to understand, that the only difference is in the last lecture we have used open method, and that object we have stored it in file variable. So here we are storing that object here in reader variable, just a different way of writing it, that's it. The reason why I am doing this, because I don't want to use file.close every time. This step will take care. And one more thing, if you want to write to text, you have to clearly tell that I want to do in write mode. Okay, if you want to read, it's a optional. If you don't tell anything, by default Python and thinks that it's a read mode. So that's why we have clearly told read and write. So that's about reading and writing into text file using Python. Okay, thank you.